Hey everyone, it's DeAnna from DeAnna Scraps, and I am here with a Crafty Maven Getaway video for Sketch It Out Thursday. And I am using a sketch which was shown in the beginning of the video from Creative Scrappers, and I'm going to try something a little different for me today, which is going to be using a little bit of mixed media on my layouts. So it's not totally, it's not like something I've never done before, but I usually just am pretty clean with my splatters, but this time I really wanted to try and do a little bit of the smooshing technique with the plastic sheet like everyone has been doing. And so I'm just kind of playing around with that. I did add some white gesso, which I'm not a big fan of the gesso I have, and I don't know if there's better gesso, but you can totally see, even though it says it's white, you can see the difference. Maybe I just need to use clear, I don't know. But it works out fine in the end. You can hardly see it on the paper. I do cut some of the sides off, and a lot of it gets covered with the ink splatters, so or with the smushing from the plastic. So I do end up doing a little bit of this off camera, so I'll come back and you can see it was a little different. And in the sketch there is a circle that kind of comes out from the photo and goes underneath, and what I really want to do is draw like a messy circle. And so I'm trying to sketch out, I want it to look really organic. I don't want to like trace anything. I just want it to I want it to look like a circle, but I want it to look organic. So I'm just taking a marker. I first used a pencil to sort of sketch it out, and then I used a marker to draw some lines, and I realized after I put the photo on there that I wanted it a little bit bigger, so I'm just testing it out with the photo. Now most of the circle will get covered up, or there'll be embellishments on it, so some of it doesn't even end up showing, but there are some parts of the drawing that I'm not super fond of, but in the end it really doesn't matter. So I'm using this cut apart sheet that I received several months ago from a Felicity Jane kit. And there's a few of the cut aparts that I want to use just mostly based on what they say and sort of because of the colors. So one of the things with the inspiration piece was that there was a couple images where there were some sort of like mixed media looking ink spots, and then the color scheme. So I was basing it on that, but the color in the photo that stands out the most to me is on my niece's shirt, and so it's kind of a peach color. So I'm taking the pink, the yellow, and then trying to add in some peach. And you'll see that as I go. The background sheet doesn't end up being this blue. There's the peach. It's kind of like a pinky peach color. It works perfect. Really matches her shirt, so works really well. And so I'm going to try to find something that I can use to back the photo. And this box here is just kind of a mishmash of all sorts of papers. Some of them are from Felicity Jane kits that I purchased. I did purchase 2 of their kits a few months ago, and then just a lot of other papers that I've purchased separately, from like a cherry on top or something. And I just dig into that box and try to use things when I'm scrapping out of my stash. And then eventually I will organize those papers by manufacturer. And here I'm just using something to kind of make a shelf for other things to lay on. It's just a black and white piece of paper. I believe that one was from Felicity Jane also. So I'm sticking that down. And then I also want to use this piece of paper that I received in a hip kit. I used part of it on a layout already, and that scrap has been on my desk. And the paper actually has, some splatters. I don't know if I was practicing or it just got cut off from a different layout, but I really wanted to use it. And the colors work really well for this layout, so I'm going to go ahead and put that there. And then here's where I'm going to start to play with some of the cut aparts And I do fiddle around with this a lot because I don't want it to look really choppy or blocky. I guess blocky's okay, but not, where things are going to fall off. Like it feels like it's falling off a shelf. So I play around with that a lot. And then I don't think I mentioned earlier, because I'm sort of, I don't want to say I'm infamous for it, but yeah, I have talked a lot on my videos before about how I smear black ink, and it's usually the Heidi Swap Color Shine, which I love. It's beautiful ink, but every time I use it, I end up smearing it. And so I decided to start trying some different inks. And so I've been playing with that. I've used some of the, Studio Calico, like Mr. Huey's, and I also bought some shimmers. So all those are great. And then I also have been using India ink, which is what I used on this page. So I like them all. And one thing I really miss about the Heidi Swap Color Shine is the glimmer, or the shimmer. I really love that about her sprays. So I do miss that a little bit, but I like the fact that I'm not worried that I'm going to, smear all over my page, because I was just having a lot of issues with that. So, all right, so I did pop up that square with the ampersand, and everything else is just kind of layered there. And I'm adding some gold stars, which I believe came from Studio Calico. And I'm just laying them so they kind of go around the lines of the circle. I do play a lot with like, which line am I going to put this on? I don't think it really matters, but I just kind of I want it to look like it's really going around the circle. But I think there's so much going on the layout with all those, with all the ink, that it's, the ink and then the cut aparts and, just the black splatters. So I just think it ends up looking like a lot of embellishments just in that area. So what I do eventually is I add some enamel dots that kind of helps build more of a line around that circle. So here I'm using some of those phrase stickers that I love from Tim Holtz. They're from the Small Talk pack, and I love them. I love a lot of the phrases that are in there, and the fact that they have, one set that's black and one set that's white. And then these tags here I purchased from a place that we have in Minnesota here called Crafts Direct, and they were on clearance, and I love them because they're like tags that already have the twine in there, and it just has gold designs on them. There's some that's on vellum and then backed with white cardstock, or like that one that's black with the gold stripes. So I like them a lot. And I'm just going to use this. This is part of the sketch. It had these tags sticking up from the photo. And I do struggle a little bit. I almost wish that I had that photo on Pop Dots, but it was a little too late at that point. So I just tried to add enough adhesive back there so that it would stick. And as I'm looking at the layout now, it is still kind of popping up a little bit. It makes me really want to go back and add some Pop Dots, but it probably will be fine once it gets in a page protector. So then I used a phrase from one of my thickers sheets. So it's the foam phrases, and I think this might have been an Amy Tan one. I'm not 100% sure though, but it says hooray. And I'm just going to add in Scrappy Time in these little black tile letters. And then I'm going to go ahead and find an ampersand, an exclamation mark from these Calberteschi thickers, and that matches perfectly. And then the other thing that I wanted to add, which was a part of the sketch, were strips of pattern paper up top. And I suppose it could have been, washi tape or anything like that, but I wanted to add the pattern paper because I felt like I needed to add some more of that white and black towards the top and a little bit of pink so that it felt more like that background sheet really matched with the other colors in the layout. So and I was trying to change the size a little bit, and excuse me, I was going based on the sketch and how it had it kind of overlapping on the side, on the ends. So, and I didn't want it to be too thick, so I'm just cutting it down here. And then I'm going to add that to the top. And I think this is the point where I go and add the enamel dots. So yep, here I am adding enamel dots, and once I'm done with that, that is the end of the layout. So I really do like the way that this layout turned out, and I know it's not something I do very often, but I do like to mess around with mixed media sometimes, so it's fun to do a layout every now and then like that. So, but thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you next time.